Hello, Stampin' Buddies. It's Lori, Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin', coming to you on Tuesday, January 7th, the day the celebration and the new mini catalog has gone live. Yay for new stuff. So quickly with the celebration, if you haven't had your flyer yet sent to you, and you don't have a demonstrator, let me know. I would love to be your demonstrator. But with celebration, it is the biggest sale of the year. So you can earn free product with increments of $60 purchases. And there's a variety of things offered in here. So what happens is if you purchase a $60 whatever, an item, a set of items, you will receive these things that say free with $60 purchase. So it might be a stamp set. It might be some fun designer series paper. It might be an embossing folder or other stamp sets. It might be some ribbon, paper, stamp sets. There's some embellishments as well. You might recognize that card. I did that the other day to sample for everybody. And as we go through here, you will see some things require a $120 purchase. So I featured this a few days ago as well. So you get the stamp set and the dies for free when you order at least $120 worth of product. So that's before shipping or tax. Here's another one. This stamp set is also with a $120 purchase. And then there's also this joining option. So if you love our Stampin' Up products and you buy Stampin' Up products, if you join, you can get your Stampin' Up products for a discount. All right. So one of the benefits of joining with Stampin' Up is that you get to pick your own set of products for your starter kit that they call it. Normally it's $99. You don't pay any shipping, but you get to pick out $125 worth of product. All right, so it's $26 worth of product that you're getting for free. During celebration, though, they up the ante basically, and you can get a stamp set and a marker family set. That's an additional $91 value. You can get that for that same $99 in free shipping. If you don't want markers, you don't care for that stamp set, that's your choice because it's your starter kit. You can pick $30 in additional free product instead. So that's $155 worth of product that you're getting for just $99. So if you've got questions on that, let me know. I know I went through that pretty quick. We are going to look at this Floral Delight, and it is nice and bright, and that's what I like. I'm not a winter person. So in your mini catalog on page 33, 34, 35, it features the paper. And then 36 and 37 have some additional samples with some additional products. Now, I have not yet purchased the stamp set, the dies. I haven't purchased the new bees. I still have some bees that were similar to this, but different from a while back. And there's nothing wrong with using some of your stash. All right. So we'll set that aside. The celebration items go through the end of February. The mini catalog, will go through April. So actually it goes through May 5th, but they call it the January-April catalog. All right. So looking at the one set of designer series paper, this is called the Floral Delight. The colors that coordinate with it are always listed on the paper. All right. These are two-sided papers. So this is the front, this is the back. Front, back, front, back. This is pecan pie or pecan, if that's how you pronounce it, but I call it pecan. Front and back. Cute gingham is pretty popular right now. Branches, and I really like this one. It's got some stripes, but it's all dots. There's some balmy blue in here. Front and back. So you get 12 sheets, 2 of each, but they're two-sided. So basically you have 12 different designs. All right. And then what we're actually going to use for our card is the vellum. And this is Floral and Gingham Vellum. It's 12 by 12. Daffodil Delight, Lemon Lolly, Old Olive, Pool Party, and White, of course, are featured there. So when you get vellum that's patterned like this, you can use it any way you want. But when you back it with a bright color like white, it really changes the look. All right, and that's what we're going to end up doing with the card that I'm kind of casing from Stampin' Up. Here's the other piece, blue with the lemon lolly and some old olive leaves, and then the blue gingham. And again, that's going to stand up much brighter when you put it on white, or basic white. With the vellum, you get those 3 designs, 2 sheets of each, so you're getting six pieces of vellum. And then we're going to use some party dots. We're going to use some Pool Party ink, and we're going to use this with You and Mine stamp set. This is from the mini catalog, and I don't know if you're familiar with how Stampin' Up works, but when they have demonstrators that sell $1 million worth of product, and there's a bunch of them now, it's a lot of work, but it can be done. They get to go to the Stampin' Up! Home office, work with the concept artists, and help design a stamp set. And this one happens to be from Julie Davison. I love the big words. I love that font. So that's what we're going to use today. We're going to do a thinking of you. I have a couple of people in mind for who I need to send that to. So I have our thick basic white cardstock. It's heavier than our normal cardstock, so it's great for card bases, okay? And this is 8.5 this way, 5.5 this way. I've scored it at 4 1/4, folded, burnished it. You know, I always use my bone folder to burnish my folds there so that they're nice and flat. And then we are going to take, I think it really matters, those are both the same size, so I have an extra. We're going to take a piece of the gingham vellum. I've got it 3 1/4 by 4, and then this is 4 1/4 and also 3 1/4, because I didn't really want it framed like a picture. I just wanted a little emphasis. And then I'm just going to take my Stampin' Seal, and we'll put some in the middle, and we'll place that right down on our cardstock. And you will not even be able to see that I've put any Stampin' Seal on there. You cannot see it through the vellum at all. All right, we're going to end up covering it with the sentiment, but it doesn't really matter. You can't see it. So then we can go ahead and put this on our card front. And I am only going to put dimensionals in the corners, because when we go to put the sentiment on here, I'm going to put that on dimensionals as well. And I don't want to have double layers of dimensionals, because if it gets too thick for the post office, then you have to put more postage on it. This way it'll keep it flat enough to go through the mail. Make sure I'm opening the right way. I'm going to center that on there. Now I can use my grid on my glass mat to help me line it up, but I usually just eyeball it, and for me it's close enough. We're going to put this here, but I also need to have the sentiment stamped. So let's get a piercing mat in here. And we've got my stamp already mounted on the block. Now you can put your stamps on here pretty random, or you can lay your stamp down on your grid paper or your glass mat if you've got one, and then line up something that's straight, and then put your block on it so that it's straight if that's something that you need to do. I usually just kind of random it and stamp it on there. Then I'm just going to give it some even pressure, pop it off, beautiful. And that we can just rinse underwater later. I'm going to trim this down a little bit on my trimmer. I'm going to trim the edges so that I just have the block of words. And I'm not going to have my trimmer on the table, because people probably know how to cut down paper, right? Trim it a little bit more here. So this will go on here, and I'm going to have this yellow banner behind there. So you can tell on this one I made little flags for it, and flags are super easy. You don't have to have any kind of punch or a die to do your flags. We'll get that out of the way so I don't get all inky. But if you take whatever piece you're gonna make into your flag, now I've got this 1 1/4 by 4 1/4, so that it's gonna go the whole width of my card. But I just want it to be just a little pop of color, nice subtle color behind my sentiment. So if you take your snips and just figure out if you're gonna go up about a, I don't know, maybe 1/4 of an inch, right in the center, just snip straight. And these snips from Stampin' Up! Have nice pointy edges, so you get a nice clean cut. Then you'll go from this corner to where your snip ended, and then you'll go from the other corner to where your snip ended, and you have a nice even flag. All right, we're going to do that on the other side as well. And you could measure it for being in the middle and how far up you're going to snip, but most people are probably not going to look at it that close for you. So I just kind of eyeball it, and it usually looks pretty acceptable. All right. So I'm going to take some more of this Stampin' Seal. We'll just put that on the back of there and line up our sentiment. And again, you could put this on your glass mat or on your grid paper to line it up. And I guess mine's a little bit off, but again, I don't think anybody's really going to care that much. All right, and we're going to put a few more dimensionals on here. And don't ever throw away the dimensionals that are on the side of your page, because all you have to do is snip them, and you have a whole bunch more that you can use. All right, so I will save those for another project. And then we're going to go ahead and take these off. And I see my phone is shifting just a little bit. I actually got a new phone today, so I'm still trying to figure it out. And it's heavier than my other one, so my stand needs to be adjusted a little bit. All right, so that'll go there. We're going to put some little gems on here. These are the party dots that are in the mini catalog. And when I use my Take Your Pick tool, that putty end, just when it's brand new, just work it so your putty is soft, but you don't need a whole lot, and this should last a long time. So I just push and lift, and I guess we'll take one off of here. And if you just go off the edge of the covering, that works pretty well. Or the plastic, the acetate. All right, and then I'm going to do a quickie bow. So I frequently will cheat with my bows and use a little bow maker. If you don't have one of these and you want one, let me know and I will make one for you for a nominal fee. All right. But when I take my bow maker, I take my ribbon. When it's a wider ribbon, I find it easier to do with my bow maker, because if I'm making it kind of a tight bow, it's just easier for me. And this happens to be an online exclusive white ribbon, and it's probably 1/2 inch. Yep, 1/2 inch. And I just usually kind of wrap it around so I have my approximate length. So when I've taken my ribbon, I'm left-handed, but however works for you, you can start on whatever side you want. I start with the ribbon on the right-hand side. I wrap it around the back. That flag that's on the top there, that just gets lifted over the whole thing. And then I just tie it like I'm tying shoes. And then I wiggle it to cinch up that knot. And then with mine, I can put it away kind of like that. So it's a little more compact. And then you've got this cute little bow. And all we need to do is snip the ends, put a couple of glue dots on it, And I usually put a glue dot on each side of the knot. And try to keep them from sticking to my fingers. And then where'd my card go? Over here. I couldn't decide if I wanted the bow to be up here or down below. Maybe we'll put it over here this time. There. So there's our quickie card. Simple, but actually kind of classy looking. So I'm thinking spring. I don't know about you folks, but that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you for stopping in and watching. Try to like my video, share my video if you could. I'm trying to increase my viewership so that I have a little better Facebook algorithms and that. So I appreciate any time you share the video, like it. Leave me a comment if you like the card, which one you think, if the bow should be down or up. And if you make a card with this similar layout. So one other thing you might want to know about, if you don't already, is that in the annual catalog on page 22, there are 22 what they call sketches or layouts. I loosely followed this one. I think that's probably the closest one, where I have a layer, which is behind my vellum. I have that rectangle there that is my vellum. And then the flag piece, which I actually put a sentiment on top of there. So that's basically the layout that inspired me to do this card, in addition to the Stampin' Up sample that was online for the vellum. So that's what I've got. If you look through the catalogs and see a card that you really like, but you can't figure out what is in it, shoot me a message. I can figure out the recipes for you. Maybe not necessarily all of the measurements, because sometimes that just depends on how you want your card to look, but I can at least let you know what products and colors were used. So thanks for watching. Happy stamping, everybody. See you next time.